Hello friends, it's Dave here from SaveDex, and welcome to my predictions as to what Nintendo could be bringing to a non-E3 June Nintendo Direct, whatever we're going to be calling this. No Direct has been confirmed so far as I record this, but by the time I upload it, they may well have announced it properly. But before we get on to what my predictions will be, if Nintendo do indeed do a Direct this month, I just want to give you a quick channel update just to let you guys know what's happening with this channel going forward, as there's going to be quite a big change going on now. If you don't care about how the channel's going to go in the future and you're just here for all the predictions, then just click on that timestamp down below to get to them quicker. So you may have noticed I have been uploading less videos and been streaming a bit more, and actually keeping the streams up on the channel like I wasn't doing before. Because quite frankly, my computer is having more problems and I don't really want to buy a new one anytime soon. And because my editing software is up for renewal in just a couple of days, I'm choosing to not renew it because I don't want to spend money for a year's worth of this editing software only for my computer to die next month, as it could happen, who knows. So because of that, I'm actually going to not be making videos for this channel anytime soon, but that doesn't mean the channel's stopping or anything like that. Sophie and I are going to continue live streaming games, and again, we're going to keep the streams up. Before, I always took them down because I didn't want them to clog up the channel and have the videos get hidden amongst them, but now we're going to go live streaming only. That doesn't matter anymore. So make sure you want to subscribe to us if you want to see our live streams, because one thing we've had an idea for lately is to go through what's on Game Pass. We're going to do a new series called Game or Pass, where we play through a game on Game Pass and just see if we like it or not. So any suggestions to us as to a game you'd recommend we play from Game Pass, then go ahead, put it down below. But we do want to stream the Turtle Shredder's Revenge, which is coming out this week, day and date on Game Pass. There we go. So make sure you look forward to that. So that's basically what this channel is going to be like going forward. Now let's get on to my predictions for Nintendo's Direct. So obviously E3 isn't happening this year, but Xbox did their own presentation. Sony did a State of Play a few weeks ago. And we've had the Sonic Central as well, and we've had the Pokemon trailer. So we've been having a few of the this time of year sort of announcements we usually get. And I don't see why Nintendo can't do a Direct this month. Some rumours are saying it's tomorrow as I record this, some are saying it's on the 29th. Either way, my predictions remain the same. But this is also a great year for Nintendo's lineup on the Switch anyway, or even their exclusives as well. It's kind of like in 2019, I went into E3 thinking, Nintendo don't really have to show us anything new, and the year is still quite packed. And it's the same for this year. We have so many games coming out in the latter half of this year that we know about. Some really big stuff coming, some exciting stuff coming. They could just show us more details on that and I think people would be happy. But I do think there are some possible things they could release that would need a shorter hype cycle between announce and release. Remember last year, Metroid Dread, that was only 4 months between announcement and release. I think games of that caliber could still get announced, but let's just go into what I think could be happening. We'll start with the games that we already know about. So going into the third-party exclusives, we've got Bayonetta 3 and we've got Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. So those are games that have been said to be coming out this year, but we haven't seen any extra details on them. I think this is the time to reveal more details of them. If they're going to come out later in the year, then now's the time to tell us about it. I think we will get at least a trailer for both games, even if they do get delayed till next year. They're still going to show us a trailer at this June Direct. It's got to happen. And especially since it was announced that Ubisoft aren't going to do a presentation this June. So really, that's the only Ubisoft game that I would be interested in. So it's glad that they'll hand the reins over to Nintendo to have it in their Direct. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I don't think we'll see that at all. We had a new trailer just a few weeks ago and it was amazing. And I think that's all we need to see of the game so far. Then we go to Fire Emblem Three Hopes. I think they will tell us a little bit about it, maybe just a little trailer, maybe it'll just feature in the sizzle reel. Just to remind us that game's coming out, because that one's quite close now. But talking about other games that are quite close, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 has been pushed forward to July now. I think we will get a trailer and a bit of an explanation about that game as well. If it was still coming out in September, then I would have said that they'd do its own presentation in August, just to hype up the game on its own. But I think they're going to do that with Splatoon 3. I think Splatoon 3 will get a showing here. They will sort of do a little trailer, maybe show off another mode or something like that, or any new weapons. But I think Splatoon 3 will get its own showcase in August, just before the game comes out. They seem to like doing that with some of their games. And another game that we know is in development is Metroid Prime 4. That got announced 5 years ago now, my goodness. And then 3.5 years ago, they told us that they're having to restart it. They mentioned Metroid Prime 4 at the Direct last year, but that was just, we're not ready to show it yet. Here's Metroid Dread. And I think Metroid Dread's existence was the reason they didn't show us anything, because they didn't want to take attention away from Metroid Dread, because Metroid Prime 4 would have done that, I think. So they don't want too many Metroids out at once here. So I think this year is the time to at least show us something of Metroid Prime 4. I don't think it's going to come out this year. I think it's going to be a 2023 game, but I've got no evidence to support that. It's just a gut feeling. But I think this is the time to say, this is the game, here's the trailer for it, so we can see like what it's like. It's coming out next year, but for those of you who don't want to wait, Metroid Prime Trilogy is coming to Switch. I don't think it'll be shadow dropped or anything, so it'll probably get a physical release, but it'll come like in the next few months maybe. Metroid Prime Trilogy, that's something everyone's been wanting on the Switch, and I think now is the time to show it, get people into the Metroid Prime games before Metroid Prime 4 comes out. I mean, Metroid Dread sold so well, like the best-selling Metroid game. The Switch just sells games, doesn't it? And another game that we know is coming out in 2023 is the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I think this will get shown here. We will get another trailer here, like a proper reveal of it, even the title, because it's coming out spring next year, and spring can mean March. And the first Breath of the Wild came out in March of 2017. When did we get our first proper showcase of that game? At the previous E3. June 2016, where they revealed the name of the game and showed off proper gameplay. So it makes sense that they could show us what the game's called here, show us proper gameplay of this game, maybe do a treehouse segment if they're going to do something like that this year, to show off what the game plays like, how it differs from the first one, and just get people really hyped for it. I do think this is the great time to show that off. So that's all I've got for the games that we know about, and honestly, if that was the Direct, I would come away happy, but not fully happy, because we want to hear about new stuff at these Directs, don't we? So let's go for a few Nintendo franchises of ones that I think they could bring something new to the table. So let's start with Mario, because I don't think they're going to show off a new Mario game at E3 this year. I'm calling it E3, it's actually a June Direct, if it exists. I'm just really speculating a lot here. So I don't think the time is right for a new 3D Mario platformer, but I do think Mario will show his face here, because I think we recently had Mario Strikers released, and Nintendo tends to remind us that a Mario game just released at their Directs. They did it with the Mario 3D World at last February's one. So I think it's a good to remind us Strikers just came out, and they could reveal to us who the first DLC footballer's going to be, probably Daisy or Shy Guy or whoever. So I think now's the time to show off the first lot of DLC for Mario Strikers. But that is not the only Mario DLC I'm going to talk about here, because it's time to show us the next 8 courses included in the Booster Course Pack for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The last lot was shown off in February and released in March. It makes sense that they'll show off the next lot in June and release it in July. Then you've got a 4-month difference between all 6 waves, which will lead up to the 2-year window they gave themselves. So I don't know what tracks they're going to show off. I mean, I hope for things like Waluigi Pinball or DK Mountain, but I hope there's not too many tracks from Mario Kart Tour, because I'm not as excited for those, but then they are brand new tracks for me. But that is not all for the Mario Kart DLC predictions, because last year at E3, Nintendo revealed Mario Party Superstars, and that game is just so fun. It's awesome. I made it my game of the year last year, but it is a shame it only has 5 boards. People have said maybe they'll do like free updates to add more boards to it over time, but like with the sports games, I feel like if they were going to do that, they would have told us before the game came out. So I think if they were going to do a free update for the game to add more content, I think if we'd only get 1 board, maybe 2 at the push. But if they were to do it as paid DLC, then they will double the amount of boards in there, make it up to 10. And if you have the expansion pack with NSO, you get them for no extra cost. I think it's likely they'll do it that way if they were going to do DLC now. And I would love to see that. What boards? I want to see the pirate boards from Mario Party 5 come back, but I reckon they'll just focus on the N64 ones. So I did mention Breath of the Wild getting its showcase earlier on, but I think we are without a Zelda game this year. Now, there is no concrete rule that a Zelda game has to come out every single year, but I think 2012 is the last year that didn't have a Zelda release. So the last 10 years we've gotten something each year, and what way to fill out that gap is then to release Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD as a double pack, not separately, as a double pack please. So on my whole, Mario's not going to get a new platformer. Who's going to get a new platformer? Donkey Kong, of course. There was that rumour last year that the Odyssey team are working on a 3D Donkey Kong game. I would love to see that. I was kind of disappointed to not get it last year, but that was only because of the rumours. If I hadn't heard rumours, I wouldn't have been expecting anything. But I feel like if a Donkey Kong game ever did exist, it should be ready to show off now. And I feel like the Odyssey team could do a great job with a 3D Donkey Kong. It would be really nice to see this one. So a few weeks ago I did a podcast with Fatman and Pop talking about bucket list games that should come to Switch. Anything from that list I would like to see at this E3. I wouldn't expect to see everything there, but I know the Batman Arkham Collection has been rumoured for a while, and I would love to see those games on the Switch. I don't think that would be a huge, big showcase announcement. I think it would be a little trailer maybe and a sizzle reel to say, by the way, this is coming to Switch. Have fun. There's also been rumours of the Game Boy Advance games coming to Switch. I don't think it would get revealed this month. I feel like that would get revealed in September. That's always been the time of year that they've announced an update to NSO like that. So September now, it's only 3 months away. That's the time to reveal the GBA games. But on those NSO games, we have been getting one N64 game a month since they started the expansion pack. Pokemon Snap is the last one they need to release out of the ones they've already revealed. That presumably would be coming out sometime this month. But what's going to come next after that? Well, maybe this is where they can show us the lineup of what N64 games are coming next. I don't personally mind the 1 a month rule, because if they released, say, 3 or 4 N64 games a month on that thing, people would have been more happy about that. But if they had done that, I think Nintendo would have run out of N64 games by now, so there'd be nothing left to look forward to. So I don't mind the 1 game a month drip feed on N64 games, as long as it's consistent. Whereas with the NES and SNES games, they didn't keep it consistent, but hopefully they can keep this going a bit longer, and we can get games like Smash Brothers coming onto there. That would be fun to play online, actually. And finally, speaking of N64 games, there's been that long leaked game, the GoldenEye remaster. It wasn't at the Xbox presentation, and that rumour was the only reason I streamed my reaction to the Xbox presentation. So I was kind of disappointed it wasn't there. But I feel like maybe Nintendo will be the ones to reveal it. I feel like this game would be coming on both Xbox and Switch. I would be disappointed if it was just on the N64 app, just a straight port of it, because there is some work that needs to be done to this game to make it more accessible for a modern audience. For example, giving it proper dual analog controls, because the single stick gameplay probably wouldn't work too well for a lot of especially younger gamers, and obviously to touch up the graphics. But if they did a Perfect Dark style remaster of the game, like they did on the Xbox 360 with Perfect Dark, where they upped the graphics and performance of the game, made it dual analog, online play, man, that game would be amazing. Maybe they could include it if you have the expansion pack, then they'll include it on there, but I doubt they'll do that because GoldenEye's just a licensing nightmare, isn't it, with a lot of other parties involved in that release. So it will be something that they'll charge money for. I don't think it'll even come to Game Pass. It'll just be sold on both stores. I personally would buy it on both stores so I can get the achievements and I can play it handheld. That would be amazing. So yes, GoldenEye, I really, really think this one would be coming. So those are my predictions as to what will be happening with Nintendo at this June Direct. That may or may not be happening. Let me know in the comments down below what you think you'd like to see there and what you think is possible to be coming. Or make some wild assumptions if you like. New F-Zero, I haven't mentioned that yet. There we go. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy our future streams on this channel, as that's going to be the main focus from now on. And I will see you guys in the next stream. Bye bye.